niin sitten lähdetään puhtaalta pöydältä jälleen, niin kuin tietysti lähdetään muutenkin. Ja nyt sitten Häkkisen haastatteluun.
Mika, you came here equal on points with Michael, so it must be a fantastic result for you.
Yes, it is. It certainly makes my situation a little bit different than it was a couple hours ago. So to win in this Grand Prix, it obviously gives us advantage for the championship, and it just gives more motivation for the team to prepare the car even better for the next Grand Prix, the final Grand Prix.
Now, in the early part of the race, you were running third behind Eddie Irvine, but Michael was escaping up the road. How worried were you at that point?
I don't know if we can use the word worried. I mean, it is just a situation what you have to accept and try to maximize your car, maximize your speed and yourself, and to try to gain places back if you can. If you cannot, then you just have to try to do best what you can. And I was not too worried. I was just pushing, and I mean, the race was only in the start. I mean, we did just 5-6 laps, and I knew, you know, if I keep pushing, you never know what tactics Ferrari was running. So you just have to keep pushing, you know, and keeping the pressure. And Eddie actually, when he was leading at one point, he made a small mistake in a chicane, and it gave the opportunity to Michael to overtake. I don't think it was anything, it just went wide. And then when he dropped second and I was running behind him, he had some kind of problem with the car, I think. He was just all over the place in the corners, and it just gave me the opportunity to overtake him.
Now, when you came into your first pit stop, you were in second place, but you emerged just ahead of Michael in the lead. You then pushed very hard. How much risk were you taking?
It's very strange. I mean, when you drive flat out, you don't, and you go maximum around the corners, you don't think there's risk. You don't think you're taking risks. And you just driving maximum, putting car on the limit. I mean, I think you don't have to take risks. I think everything more or less is very much controlled that we do out on the track, and there is no risks. Only risk is if something goes wrong and you go off because of that.
Michael, now you started on pole position, which was the best place to start, but Eddie Irvine beat you away. Was that a Ferrari tactic?
No, it wasn't a Ferrari tactic. I was slightly behind into the first corner next to him, and if I wanted I could have tried the outside, but I didn't see a reason, because I knew later on there will be the opportunity to go ahead of Eddie, and so I just accepted the situation perfectly. Mika was behind myself, and as Mika said before, he made a mistake in the chicane, so I got past him, and after that the situation was nice and good. But this stage tires started to go away a little bit, and I couldn't push as hard as I wanted. As well, the balance wasn't perfectly right. We adapted it for the last stint, where the car was a bit better, but still not enough. I mean, we have to accept we weren't fast enough in the race.
But when Mika emerged ahead of you after his first stop, did Ross Brawn try and change your tactics for later in the race so perhaps you could come out ahead after your second stop?
No, after then the tactic was decided anyway. I mean, I was a bit surprised that he was able to get in front of me. There was about a 5-second lead before I came into the pits, and I don't know how many laps he stayed out longer than I myself. But I was believing it will be enough, even so I knew it's going to be tight, but I thought it's going to be enough, and as you saw, he just took a little bit, and he got in front of me. Saying that at the second stop, if I would have kept him behind me the first stop, there would have been a chance for him to get by at the second stop. So overall, we have, as I said before, we have to accept we weren't fast enough for that race. So about 4 or 5 weeks time for testing, and we're going to use that.
Now, looking ahead to the final round, obviously you have to outscore Mika by more than 4 points. What have you got planned for between now and then?
We're going to test quite a lot. We will have a heavy program, as I guess everyone will have those guys and ourselves. So it's going to be another race within the next 4 weeks to see who wins that for Suzuka, to be prepared in the best way. We'll try. I mean, we are very close. If not, then we still have enough reasons to be very happy of our achievements, and I believe we still can be proud of ourselves.
Okay, Michael, we'll find out at Suzuka.
Thank you.
David, third place. On the grid, we noticed that McLaren were putting extra fuel in the cars. Was that a late call?
No, it was always part of our plan to decide on what was happening with the weather, and then to finalise the fuel on the grid. So that you can only put such a little amount on the grid anyway, that it's not a big difference.
And how much before the race were you confident that it would stay dry throughout? That was the talk in warm-up this morning, that it might rain this afternoon.
Well, the weather forecast we had was that it was going to be dry, and you have to believe something, so you may as well believe in your forecast. And irrespective of what was going to happen later in the race, it was clear it was a dry start, so that's all you can react to, and you certainly wouldn't set your car up anything different than a dry setup.
Back to you, Mika, now, finally. Approaching Suzuka, the finale. I believe testing next week. Are you going to Barcelona, is that correct?
Yes, we have testing coming up. Looking forward to go there, and yes, we have tests coming up. And going to Suzuka, obviously, it's going to be great. I think it's going to be really interesting to go there, and like Michael said, whatever happened, I think everybody has done a great achievements and great fight this year. But I'm looking forward certainly, and just want to say one thing. I just want to also say the great job from Mario Ilien, and I mean, we raced here last year, and David and me we were first and second running comfortably, and we failed. And this year, I think Mercedes and Mario Ilien showed they can fix problems and they can be the best. And today they showed that, and I'm glad it happened here. Really good job.
Okay, congratulations. Now, in your foreign languages, please, starting with Mika.
No, Oloha on tietysti mitä mahtavin, mutta tässä on monta syytä ilota tänään, ja ensimmäisen syy on se, tietysti tuli kilpailusta voitto, joka on tietysti askel taas eteenpäin mestaruutta, ja se ei ole vielä ratkennut eikä mitään, että se vielä taistelu alkaa. Muita asioita, mitä tänään voi iloita, on se, että täällä on meidän herra tasavallan presidentti Martti Ahtisaari, joka on paikalla katsomassa Grand Prixtä tänään, ja oli ilo nähdä ja tuoda se tilanne, että Suomen lippu nousee salkoon ja maamme laulu soi. Ja se oli todella kunnia mulle, ilo siitä, mä haluan kiittää siitä. Tämä voitto tänään myös merkitsee paljon mulle sen takia, että jännitys kasvaa, ja mä todella toivon ja pystyn odottaa sitä, että pääsen tonne Japanin Grand Prixin. Ja mä oon vaan tyytyväinen. Todella hienoa työtä koko tiimiltä. Tää on tosi hienoa.
Thanks, Mika. Michael, over to you.
Kiitoksia teille, hyvät katselijat. Kiitoksia seurasta. Mika Häkkinen on tämän Luxemburgin kilpailun voittaja. Hän on tämän päivän juhlituin sankari. Hän on samalla siirtynyt maailmanmestaruuspisteissä 4 pisteen etumatkan turvin maailmanmestaruuspistekärkeen. Ja me päätämme lähetyksen täältä Nürburgringin radalta ja menemme riemuitsevan McLaren joukon mukaan nauttimaan tästä hetkestä. Kovien paineiden alta tuli esiin loistava Mika ja otti komean voiton täältä. Kiitoksia teille seurasta ja kiitoksia myöskin kaikille jääkiekkofaneille, jotka jaksoivat odottaa näiden tärkeiden hetkien loppumista täältä Luxemburgin Grand Prixstä. Kiitoksia Keke Roosberg. Me tapaamme seuraavan kerran Formula 1 merkeissä Suzukan radalta Japanista.
Kiitoksia. Me mennään juhlimaan Mikan huomista sentteriä.
Kiitoksia kaikille. Näkemiin ja kuulemiin Nürburgringin radalta.